You're listening to the Chatty Daddies podcast.
Welcome to the Chatty Daddies, everybody. That's our radio voice right there. I'm JC Chavez.
I'm Nick Adams.
And I'm Trey Peart.
This is the greatest parenting podcast on the internet.
Here's
The best one.
It's the only one I've ever listened to.
And I'm going to give you a little peek behind the curtains because right now Nick and I are wearing sweatshirts.
Yeah?
And Trey is by far the best dressed on the podcast at all times.
Yeah. Trey, does it feel good when your kids see you dress up? Is that part of
That is
the shtick? Is that part of the bit?
So I have been wearing a suit to work now for, I guess, now 13 months or so.
Yeah.
And it was originally a, respect for yourself, respect for your job, trying to just be, better. Just trying to be better, and that's a simple way I could do it. I'm not a fashionable person, so it's not like I could go out and look cool like JC always looks cool. I'm not going to pick the clothes that make me look great, but I can wear a suit, and I know that a suit looks like you are being a professional and you are trying.
Yeah.
And so I tried. Anyway, so I've kept that up, and I feel like I'm wearing a costume. It's every day.
Right.
This is not who you are, and I have this internal debate that is going to rage on forever is should you be who you want to be, or should you be the person that you are, or should you be the person that you want to be?
I feel like
Both.
I feel like every situation is going to be a little bit different.
Make sure it depends on the room you're in. You almost got to be a chameleon depending on where you're at. And I know it sounds like you're being fake at times.
Right.
But you got to know your audience. You got to know, am I going to be in a room full of people that are professionals?
But you're not supposed to care what people think.
You're not right. It's difficult to live life because of these things.
And my inner monologue will not stop. So I go with be the person you want to be and try to get as close to that as possible. Don't be the degenerate, drunk, high, candy eating, terrible food eating slob that can't dress himself. So I try to lean towards who I want to, even though that's who I am, the degenerate. Anyway,
You're not
I feel like you are leaning into being just the better version of yourself. Whereas if you were wearing a suit that you would wear on like the red carpet, some fashion person with like sparkles and glitter and it's loud orange colors or something that's not you.
Right.
But you're wearing a suit. You're still wearing a suit that's you.
It's a $300 suit. I would never spend a ton of money on a suit like that is a ton of money to spend on clothing. But anyway, yes, the end result of this is, yes, it is so that my children see that it is important to put your best foot forward whenever you're going into pretty much any situation.
I love that, and I bring that up to a lot of people that are struggling with. I don't feel like I'm setting a good example. I bring you up a lot. Trey. I'm like, Trey dresses very professionally for what we do in the mornings, and it does have an impact on his kids. But today we get a treat because Trey usually goes to the gym right after work, so he is stunting on the top. And on the bottoms, he's got red running shorts.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that look.
It's kind of like a mullet. Right now,
Yeah.
your
Business in the
impression
top.
on top, and then a party below.
I'm like, that's legit.
The Zoom look is going out into the wild now. I was thinking it was going to be colder in the studio than it was, so I just left my dress shirt on, and so like my arms wouldn't get cold because I'm a cold little tiny person.
I remember growing up, my dad always wearing a suit to go to work.
Yeah.
So every time I saw him at the beginning of the day and the end of the day, he was wearing a suit or a collared shirt or something nice and slacks.
Your dad is
He was working at that time. He was working in apparel, clothing and apparel and stuff like that.
Fashionista, okay.
And I remember he would tell me stories that he would go to conventions and meetings and stuff like that. And he had one or two really nice ties, like with a good label on them from like an expensive brand, because people would go up to you and they would just flip your tie around. Like not even asking. Without asking, they'd flip your tie around to make sure like, oh, we're all in the apparel business. We're all in the fashion business. I'm going to see, oh, this is a Burberry tie or a Gucci tie or whatever it is.
okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Mine is my ties are whatever. It's. I think there's like a lot of consonants and very little vowels, but it's like a JUYKCR something like. It's
from Amazon.
It's from Amazon for $4.
Yeah, it's great.
You flip my tie around, you're not going to find the name you know.
I think most of mine are from Express. for men.
Yeah.
Like super skinny
Sure.
ties.
I got a couple of those.
Extra skinny.
I got regulars too.
Everyone went through that fad in 2010 where the tie was just a straight, narrow line.
I'm still there. I'm still stuck in 2010.
I do have one tie that's a little fatter than the rest, and that one does make me self-conscious when I wear it.
Yeah.
Y'all probably wouldn't even know which one it is because it's like a centimeter wider.
But good for you, because I have a suit that I really like, and I do not fit in it anymore.
Right.
And it's like, oh gosh, we gotta get back on this. We gotta lose a few lbs.
I actually got a MC an event tomorrow, and I got to wear a suit. And guys, I haven't worn a suit. It's probably been 5 years.
Full tie and everything.
Yeah, it's like it's a charity event, so I'm
Gotta look good.
and it's circus themed. So Kinsey says I have to dress like Greatest Showman. So she's looking for a jacket for me to wear that she got overnighted from Amazon.
Okay.
So
I'd say just make sure your dress shirt fits.
Yeah.
Button it all the way up. Make sure it's.
Get the top hat, too.
Yeah.
Get the top hat out like Hugh Jackman.
do you have one?
Me? A top hat.
I don't know.
No.
You dress nice.
That's almost offensive. If somebody says, hey, I think you might own a top hat, that feels offensive to me.
Oh.
No?
No, I think that's a
Nick,
fancy
you look
thing.
like somebody that would own a top hat.
I'm offended by that.
You would, right?
It's like when someone says, you look like you would wear a fedora. It's like, whoa,
Yeah,
whoa,
yeah.
whoa.
Oh, yeah.
You think,
Hold on.
What about me says top hat?
One that's worse, I think scarf.
A scarf?
If you say,
Okay.
I think you look like you wear a scarf. I'll take a fedora over a scarf. I don't know
I'd
why.
probably rather take scarf over fedora. I feel like more people could pull off a scarf than could pull off a fedora.
And scarf practical at some point.
Scarf is practical, yeah.
For what?
Fedora never practical. Well, you're cold out. You can throw a scarf on.
It depends on what kind of scarf. I see all these people with the silky scarves. They ain't doing nothing.
When does the
Yeah,
fedora
they're just hanging
come into
down.
play?
Yeah.
It's just a fashion scarf.
The fedora is never I needed that fedora to keep the very top of my head warm.
But you know what? Every now and then you see a person, man, they can pull off a fedora.
Yeah.
Some people can't. It's a very rare thing.
They're either Jason Mraz or I think they're in the mafia or something.
Maybe.
That's one of the two choices I come up with. My dad, growing up, didn't wear a suit. He was a maintenance worker, and I did. You bringing seeing your dad up made me realize. I wish my dad, because he was the maintenance worker in our apartment complex, would have taken me around with him. Because right now we're getting some home stuff done. We had a mold, so we had to knock down walls, and we had to basically get rid of it, which brought down our entire living room. So Kinsey and I decided, well, since they have to bring it down, we're not going to make it look the same like it used to. So let's make it look different. Let's put
This
our
is your
minds.
chance.
This is our chance to basically do a little renovation because we have to. And the gentleman that's doing our shelving, there was an ice storm in our area. So the schools were canceled, and he started bringing his son with him.
Okay, that's great.
And so I kind of felt like, dang, this guy's out daddying me because my son is upstairs, no school, chilling, playing Fortnite or whatever, and his son is down there working with his dad. At some point, I was like, hey, Kason, let's go to the gym.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Let's go do something. But I love that this dad was taking his son with him instead of saying, "Hey, you got the day off. You're staying home and rest." No, he said, "Come learn how to do what I do." And what he does is wonderful. I mean, learning how to do carpentry or how to renovate or learning about electrical, because he was doing all these things, is such a great skill to teach your kids. And then I started thinking, I'm like, that's what my dad could have done with me. Literally, he worked where we lived, and I never once was asked to go with him and go put in a refrigerator or put a ceiling fan in or when the air conditioning units went out. Like, I could have gone and learned all that with him.
Do you think this is not by any means, because I do think that that's an extremely respectable thing, and I want to learn. I don't know how to do any of that, and I think I should.
Yeah.
Do you think your dad was like, I want better for my son than to be the guy that has to go fix other people's crap?
Yeah, and they pushed that on me.
They pushed education, and
they were pushing become a doctor very hard on me, which, due to our money, I found an alternate route to become a nurse and then maybe a doctor. But yeah, they did express that they had better hopes for me.
But I would also just assume, I don't want to put words in your dad's mouth or mind or anything like that, but it's also like, I don't want to bring my kid around. Like, I don't want to get in trouble from the building if I'm bringing my kid around or bringing my son, into other people's homes and stuff like that. Like, he probably just wants to get in and get out and not be seen.
Also, the gentleman that's helping with our home, his son is very quiet. Yes, sir. Great manners. I'm trying to think back to when I was 14 years old. I think that's how old this kid is. I was annoying.
Right.
So I don't think my dad wanted that annoyance around him.
That kid's annoying. That kid's annoying to his dad, I'm sure.
Yeah. He wasn't at all when they were at work because I would have been annoying.
Yeah, because when you weren't around, he kept saying to his kid, like, stop it, quit, get over here, stand here, don't go over there.
Smacking him.
But I think taking your son to work, especially if you do something like that, very hands-on, is such a great a time to teach him those skills.
Yeah, my dad, he had office jobs, and so there'd be a few times when it'd be take your kid to work day, and I'd go pre-internet days and have to be in some office for like 9 hours. Like, all you have to look forward to is lunch.
I know.
And then it's like, how many pages in this coloring book can I get through today? You know, and that's about, maybe I'll play on an extra computer that had Word on it and type something. I don't know.
I had some friends that would go to their dad's work and they worked in offices, and we'd do that, like take your kid to, and they'd come back and they'd be like, what was it like at your dad's work? And they're like, boring. He doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Man.
And then them boys had big houses and stuff. They had stairs.
Well, the dad was just doing something that the kid didn't pay attention to. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Just sitting over the books. Yeah.
Who's that? Yeah,
Me?
paper, rock, scissors.
Okay, here we go.
Hold on.
wait,
Best,
okay,
1, 2, 3, shoot.
Shoot.
Well, now you know what I'm going to throw, so I have to throw something different, or do I throw that same one?
I wasn't even looking.
Okay.
Rock.
Oh, go again.
It's a tie. Oh, it's a tie again. Oh.
Trey wins.
Okay, wins. He scissored.
I was paper.
All right, so here in like 6 months, my son is going to be starting real school. We call his daycare school just to get the vocabulary, just to make sure he knows going to school is a good thing, and he has fun at school. So now he's going to go to kindergarten in the fall, and that is going to be a little bit longer day. I pick him up at half days right now, 12:45, and he doesn't have to make sure he eats his lunch at there because he knows I'll pick him up and make him whatever. He just doesn't have to have a full day without his parents. And coming up, he will have to have that full day, and he will have to know how to do everything. And there are things that I have not prepared him for.
Okay.
Trouble is I don't know what I have not prepared him for. You know what I mean? So, like, I know he's going to have to wipe himself. I know he's going to have to zip up his own jacket. I know he's going to have to open his own food. Like, if we give him, like, applesauce, if we give him a Z-bar, whatever.
Same with the lunchbox. Some kids have trouble, like, opening the clasp
latches
of their lunchbox. Yeah.
Good to know. And so that's kind of what I'm looking for is I wouldn't have thought. I would have just sent him with a lunchbox. And if there's just any tips you could give me, like, hey, there were some things that I know that Davis and Ellie or Chloe and Kaysen were like, oh, wish I would have taught him that. And this goes out to all the chatty mommies and daddies out there too. If you got something, please DM me @on the Tradio and be like, hey, make sure he knows how to do this.
Yeah.
Or if you're a teacher, teachers are
they know
better. Yeah.
I have some.
Please.
Go ahead, Nick.
A school related, and then there's like behavior related.
Right.
So school related, he needs to write his own name.
Sure. Yeah.
You know,
done.
But half of his class will not be able to do that.
Okay.
Numbers, like up to 10 or 20 maybe.
Yeah.
Just to be able to say them.
Right.
And, you know, when it comes to math and stuff, that's hard. So he doesn't, if he can't count to 100 or anything, no big deal.
Yeah.
Or even like, probably I want to say in my kids' kindergarten, they learn to like count by 10s.
Sure.
10, 20, things like that. But not school related. This is just one of my biggest pet peeves with my kids when they were that age. You need to know how to wipe your face.
Okay.
Because
Clean
kids
yourself.
will eat, not just washing your hands at school or like at lunch, but then if you don't wipe your mouth, you're going to have peanut butter and jelly on your face the entire rest of the day.
Okay, that's a
so
good
just
one.
like wiping your face off. Like take a few bites and then use your napkin.
You just give me such a core memory of when I used to pick up Kaysen from not even kindergarten, from like preschool. And I remember I'd pick him up, and when his face would come to me and like get close to mine, I could smell the lunch.
Yeah, it's
because it was all over his face. I'm like, oh, you had peanut butter today.
Yeah, because when it's on there, then that means it'll end up being on his sleeves because he'll be wiping his face and stuff like that. So just wipe your face.
And so we do kind of like the superficial version of that. Like he does wipe his face. I give him a napkin, he knows what, but it's never a completely, he wipes it. And then I'll come over and be like, you still got a little peanut butter, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
He needs to be able to double triple, go over the whole thing.
And it's never going to be perfect.
Of course.
But then another thing, does he nap?
No.
Okay. I was going to say, because a lot of kids still struggle with that second half of the day after lunch. They get pretty sleepy because some kids may not have been in a routine like Quaid is right now,
right?
Where he's out of school and stuff like that. This might be some kids' first experience with school,
right?
So a lot of kids struggle with naps and stuff like that. They think a nap is coming during the day and it's not.
They do still, like at the daycare, they have like quiet time where kids can nap for a couple hours if they want to, or they just have to sit there and read a book or whatever on their own little mat. So yeah, I can see that ending up being a trouble for other people. But Quaid, no, the 2.5-year-old barely naps.
Yeah.
half the time he just sits in his crib and talks.
Well, another thing, I guess this is more school related, but it's how to hold a pencil or a pen, because some kids, they'll hold it like a fist.
Like they're going to stab somebody.
The holding it with your pointer finger and your thumb and your middle finger, or however you end up writing, it's really tough. My kids still struggle with it.
We bought the kids these gummy things to put on their pencils.
I love to chew on those.
And they
thank you.
And don't they smell good?
I can't remember the smell. I just remember
they smelled so good.
I want to chew on them. Anyway.
Yeah. But anyway, those are great. I agree with everything Nick said. There's one thing that I didn't really deal with Kaysen because it was all right for him. But with Chloe, I realized, oh, man, I wish I would have. It's more of a life skill that I wish they would have had for kindergarten. And it was because of my daughter. So prior to my kids going off to school, I've been very adamant about you have to respect the classroom. So there is no talking. When you enter that classroom, you are not talking. It's the teacher's realm, and you only speak when spoken to, and no talking to your classmates, no nothing. It is only schoolwork and teacher. And my kids, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but they really latched onto that, and they listened to that. And from what I gather, my son has really good behavior in class since he was little. Now he's in middle school, and I'm sure he's annoying. But my daughter is the same way. My daughter is a rule follower. And I started noticing on the first few weeks when we would pick Chloe up from school that her eyes were so red, dude, just like she had been crying. But we would ask the teacher, like, hey, has Chloe been crying in class? No. I don't know what's going on. Why? Her eyes were just red. I would ask Chloe, how's your day? Good. And I started getting weirded out by it. So about 2 weeks in, when I'm picking Chloe up, she once again, bright red eyes. And I go to the teacher and I go, hey, what's going on? Like her eyes it looks like she's been crying all day. And she goes, I wanted to talk to you. Chloe has been sitting in the corner and just closes her eyes as hard as she can. And I said, why? And she goes, I don't know. But I noticed it today. She was just in the corner with her eyes completely closed as hard as she could. And she was just sitting there. And she didn't come out of it until I came up to her and said, Chloe. And she opened up and she was fine. She was listening to me. She followed instructions. But as soon as I stopped talking to her again, she went back in the corner facing the wall and closed her eyes as hard as she could. So when we got home, I talked to Chloe and I said, hey, why are you closing your eyes at school? And again, she's 5. They don't know how to express what they're feeling. But she was able to get out there's a mean kid in my class.
Yeah.
There's a mean girl in my class. And I said, what's she doing? She goes, she takes my headband and she broke my headband. And so teacher kids, yes, respect the teacher, don't speak in class. But I wish I would have told her, hey, if there's anything going on in the classroom that you feel like is not okay, it is absolutely okay to raise your hand or get up and go talk to the teacher. You're not disrupting.
Yeah.
She felt like she wasn't allowed to talk at all. And because I had told her this, she was just internalizing this kid being mean to her.
Aww.
And the only way she could make it go away is by just looking into the corner and closing her eyes.
Yeah. Ugh.
So as soon as she told me that, I was able to email the teacher. My wife and I emailed and said, hey, this is why Chloe has been closing her eyes. This is why she's coming home with her bright red eyes. It's because she's getting picked on by this little kid. And the teacher was like, oh, my goodness, I have noticed that there's been some weird interactions. I will fix it. From there on out, Chloe's eyes were open and she never had the red eyes again. But if I would have told her, hey, you can stand up for yourself and go talk to a teacher if you don't feel like you're being treated nicely. That's the one thing I wish I could go back and so she wouldn't have suffered those 2 weeks of shutting her eyes and being, blacked out for however many minutes.
Yeah, that definitely happens for sure. Another thing that I've heard, and we certainly experienced this. Luckily, your kids do have some sort of school experience, so maybe it won't be as bad as some people. But I know a lot of parents say after school, their kids can not be well behaved at home.
Yeah.
And that's because they kind of have to be on their best behavior at school for such a long period of time that when they get home, they just kind of got to let that energy out. They just got to let it out. And so I'd say maybe expect a little attitude or something sometimes.
I always go into, whenever I pick them up, I'm like, before I go, I tell them, I'm like, this is their work. Like they just went to work for a long period of time. They've had to have interactions with a bunch of different people. So just like let them have some time to sit and watch TV, have a snack, eat whatever silly snack they want, just decompress.
Just sit in silence for a little bit and hang.
Just like I would if I, whenever I was a teenager. I know they're not teenagers yet, but give them a chance to not have me going, so what are we doing? Are we going to do letters? Can you sing me your songs? Can you do, just let them.
Yeah.
Another thing, a girl in my office is trying this with her kid, and she said it's been pretty good, is that whenever he gets in the car, when she picks him up, she doesn't pelt him with a ton of questions. How was your day? Who'd you sit by at lunch? What'd you learn? Did you do this? Because that's what you want to do as a parent. You want to hear about their day.
And I still do it, and I know it's wrong.
I know
it's not that. It's because I feel, I'm like, oh, good. I'm creating the routine of me asking these questions. He's going to know to look for stories to tell me.
Yeah.
That's my first instinct.
And so what she's been doing is she just doesn't really say a whole lot. I mean, she'll talk to him.
Yeah.
But it's not 100 questions about his day, because then eventually he has on his own been like, you know what my friend did today at lunch? And then I don't know, like they want, they get into mode where they want to talk to their parents about what's going on, and they don't feel like they're just being interviewed about 100 things. And he's in kindergarten.
Okay.
Right now he's in kindergarten. And so, I mean, I don't know if she said it's 100% the best thing that's ever happened, but she says like she's been trying it and it hasn't been bad.
Okay.
And to go along with that, they say that a lot with if you have a kid that's an athlete and started playing sports after the game, the number one rule, and this is something they would even tell us this when I had to take coaching certification. The number one thing you're not supposed to do after a game, especially if they didn't play well or they lost, is talk about the game.
Oh, just go play by play about what happened.
Literally go into it and go like, hey, I noticed in this play you didn't do this. You should have done that. That's the last thing you're supposed to do. You're supposed to, when they get in the car, literally bring up anything but the game.
Not even praise.
Now they say it's just, you can say, hey, great game today on the field and everything. You're going to say that to them. Good job, buddy. And then once you get in the car, hey, what do you want to have for dinner? Just disconnect it from that, because it's usually, you never do it when it's positive. It's always when like, oh, you should have, when you hit that ball, you should have gone to second base. You stopped that first. What were you thinking? That's they don't need to have
Bring it up the next day.
Yeah, you could bring it up, or you could ask them the next day, like, hey, what do you think you could have done better? But let them relax and get away from all that scrutiny.
Nice.
How's Quaid doing at reading? Is he
of his goals? So for his goals in 2026, he wants to learn to tie a knot. He wants to learn to ride a bike, and he wanted to learn to read. He hasn't really tried tying the knot yet, but riding the bike went swimmingly. Reading, he gets a little frustrated. Every once in a while, I'll try to get him to do it, and I don't think. I'm not a great teacher.
Yeah.
I'm a great shower. Hey, come, I can show you how to make friends. Like, hey, what's your name? What's going on? How are you? You want to come play with us? But to be like, okay, so I'm like, what sound does the letter A make? All right, so now you have, what sound is S, A, and then it's just frustrating for him. And I'm not I just don't come up with a secondary way to teach. And I just go, no, it's what is S-A? And it's not good. And in the moment, I'm just like, let's get through the one word. Let's just do the one word and we'll be done with it. And that way you learn that one word. And that's not the good way to teach. Yeah. So I blame the teacher more than the student, but he is not progressed like he has with the bike. He's not doing bad. He can sit and he can read these little things called Bob books.
Oh, we love the Bob books from the library. We get those all the time from the library.
He can read a couple of those without. He's like Matt sat, and he does it better when his mom's around.
Right.
He's a better teacher, calmer, and like goes, well, no, how about what if we try? And like talks with a different voice. She's great at teaching them like real things. I'm better at like social.
Have you gotten to trying to teach math yet, Nick? Because that's the one where you're like, there's times where I'm like, in my head, like, how do you not see this? And you have to walk away. You can't because we know how to do it.
Yeah.
That's my problem. I don't know how to do it. I'm not that good. My son, like this week, my son had a quiz on multiplications of 12.
Yeah.
And so I made him a little worksheet. I had ChatGPT make him a multiplication worksheet. And then I was like, and give me an answer key. Because I am not going to be able to figure this out well.
There's a video I watch from time to time when I feel like I'm failing my kids at math, and it's this dad and son, and he's little, and he's learning how to subtract. And the dad goes, all right, if you have 5 apples and you get rid of 3 apples, how many apples do you have? And the little boy's sitting there, and he is completely he is not seeing it. He goes, 6? And he goes, what? And the dad's doing everything that we've all done when we've been trying to do math with kids. And he goes, what do you mean? You have 5 apples. You got 3 of them, and you removed them. How many apples do you have? Now the kid is in tears. And he goes, 4? I'm losing it for the dad. We're all feeling what he's doing. But the kid is so like just in shock and doesn't know how to do it that he can't see clearly. And the dad is literally, all right. He goes and grabs 5 apples and he puts them in front of him. You got 5 apples. He takes 3 away. I'm taking 3 away. Now there's 2 apples right there in front of the kid. How many apples you got? The kid now is crying so hard. He goes, 3. And then the video cuts out. I hope the kid's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we've all
that
been
is
there.
teaching math to kids across the board. Everybody's dealt with it.
Hard.
All right. Well, thank you for the tips on what Quaid needs to do before heading into kindergarten. What do you got? Or we can play rock, paper, scissors again just for fun.
It's just timely.
What's up?
Super Bowl's coming up.
Yeah.
Not to get into testy waters here, but I've been seeing for the last several years as I have kids, people get online, they'll get frustrated about maybe some of the content of commercials during the Super Bowl, or maybe the halftime performances about being appropriate for kids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Have y'all ever found yourself because in the Super Bowl, they'll show, it's not the Disney Channel where the commercials are limited to children's stuff. They're showing stuff for feminine products, condom commercials, alcohol things.
There's a lot of, Dad, what's that for?
There medication commercials. Yeah, and so it's like,
right, like GoDaddy's like, go to...
Right, or GoDaddy's a great thing because it'll be sexy ladies walking around and stuff. And so I've definitely seen a lot of people questioning like, ooh, I don't know, should we be showing our kids? So I feel like I'm somewhat okay with most of the stuff. I don't know if y'all have ever run into anything or heard from other parents who are concerned about, because I'll see lots of Facebook posts afterwards like, ooh, that was not an appropriate commercial.
And those are one of those things where it kind of just falls down to parenting, you know, because they're going to see it someday, somehow, some way. Eventually they're going to see it. I personally, while it might be embarrassing at times and kind of awkward, you know, to have something that you weren't ready to talk about in front of your kids, at least at that moment, it is a genuine question from them.
Right.
And they can ask you, hey, Dad, what's that tampon thing for, you know? And I've had a conversation with Casey. And that's why I said he saw a tampon commercial. Yeah. It was probably in 4th grade, right before they started doing their sex ed stuff. Sure. And he goes, what's that for? And I go, well, your mom's not home, so I guess she can't take this one. So I'll go ahead and try to give you the best version that I can. And I explained to him that eventually girls go through puberty, and when they go through puberty, they have a period, and this is something that helps them while they're going through that. And it's a feminine hygiene product. And he just stood up and he goes, okay. And so then the follow-up questions is where it gets hard, because then he goes, so what do they do with it? And that's when I was like, damn, I could really answer this question right now, because I know the answer. But I said, you know what, man? I've never used one personally, so go ahead and you can ask your mom when she gets home, because that's out of my realm now.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And he did.
Yeah.
Kinsey came home, and the first thing that Kaysen said was, hey, Mom, so what do you do with a tampon? And I'm on the couch, and I just I feel Kinsey's gaze at me. Like, what were you guys talking about? And I turned around and was like, it was a commercial. And so he has some questions. And she goes, and you couldn't answer it for him? And I was like, I answered as many as I could. But then that one got to it. And so I felt like you could be the best one to tell him what happens. And so she goes, okay, you can come in here in case followed her into the bedroom.
She taught you both.
And then she goes, no, I stayed in the living room. I've learned. And all I hear is Casey go, ugh.
Yeah.
And she walked out. And she goes, okay, now he knows what they're for, and everything's fine.
Yeah, we're good.
We're all good.
Did you ever use one for bloody nose?
I'm the nose.
Have you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And do they work well?
They work phenomenally.
So absorbent.
Guys, dude, they need to make those 4 noses. Like, they need to have people, I get a nosebleed like 50 times a year. And they need to have those. That should be my product. That'll be my thing that I start pimping.
Yeah, because you need it a little bit smaller. You don't need regular size.
Right. But it worked out. Like, I had it in for like 45 minutes and the no drippage at all. Whenever I get like a little piece of toilet paper, it goes away in 30 seconds.
Look at that.
I got to switch it out. Anyway.
And by the way, I don't think the halftime show is the one where I'm like, you don't know what you're going to see.
You don't know who's going to be dancing, what's going to be happening,
what's going to be
content.
shown.
I would say at least with like last year, Kendrick Lamar was rapping so fast, I don't think anyone understood what he was saying. So that went over a lot of like my kids' heads.
Yeah.
You know, with Bad Bunny, I don't know. He's going to be singing in a different language. So like
in Spanish and stuff.
I think it's some of the dancers. What are the dancers going to be doing? You know, I don't know.
He doesn't strike me as a lewd person, so there might be some sexy dancing in it.
Yeah.
Depends on who he brings out as well. He might bring out like Karol G was one, or Rosalia, and they're very sexy dancers.
I guess you could watch the Super Bowl on like a 2-minute delay and just fast forward through something if a commercial or performance is giving you a question mark.
Yeah. That's a good point. What age can you start dancing like that?
I don't know.
Like when your daughter starts dancing like that, is there any age?
I mean, at some point it is.
You're allowing it because, I mean, they're not doing anything particularly wrong.
They're just dancing,
right?
Gyrating.
Listen, my daughter loves dancing, and for the most part, she does a lot of like cute TikTok dances. It's mostly like nothing crazy, but I have seen a couple times where a song comes on and I see her start dancing, and I'm like, hey,
let's subtract that body roll here from this.
Yeah, I look at Kinsey, I'm like, well, what's going on? And she's like, she's dancing. What do you mean?
But it does feel good and like fun to like roll your body.
Sure, it sure does.
So it's not like inherently wrong.
Sure.
But you do put meaning to it, and it's just weird. Like, when can you start talking about it? When are they allowed to say?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Parenting is hard, man. And the older they get, the harder it gets.
Hey, we're not guaranteeing we know all the answers on this podcast.
Oh, we don't know the answers. We're going.
We just throw it out there and say,
trial and error.
Let us know what you think, guys.
We'll tell you this. We are trying.
Yeah, we're trying
our hardest.
Can you imagine there's a documentary on us in like 40 years? They're like, yeah, there was this radio show and they had this podcast on the offshoot, and every one of those kids that like the parents that listened and took our advice, like they're so screwed up.
Right. The chatty daddies, all questions,
right.
No answers. Okay. Well, that's it for this week's episode, I believe.
I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend and enjoys the game. I don't know when you're listening to this particular episode, but we'll be enjoying it.
Yeah. I'm Nick.
I'm Trey.
I'm JC.
And don't forget,
stand up straight.
The Chatty Daddies Podcast.